I'ma bring the blood, I'ma bring the blood, yeah. You not bring the flood.
How is it going, everybody? This is BroncoJuggalo, and welcome back to day 3 of Wild Eye Week. And tonight, we are discussing Turnpike Killer. From 2009, directed by Evan Makrogiannis and Brian Weaver, starring Bill McLaughlin as John Beast and Edgar Moy as Detective Lloyd. A huge homicidal maniac has been killing people up and down the New Jersey Turnpike for the last 10 years, and now it is up to Detective Lloyd to stop him. They finally have some leads, and he's finally on the case. This is a really good movie that I really enjoyed from Wild Eye, and I can't thank them enough for. We're going to jump right into it, guys, and I'm going to start with some cons. I really only have one con, and that is the sound. Every once in a while, the sound drops out just a little bit, and the quality of it doesn't come through quite well at times. This movie does kind of have that shot on video look, but that doesn't bother me. I really enjoy it. At first I didn't like the lighting. It looked like all the lighting came from like neon lighting, but then I realized that was the style they were going for with the film, and I got to really get into it and really get into the atmosphere it provided. So the sound is my only con for this film. Other than that, I have no cons. So starting with pros, my first pro is Bill McLaughlin, our main character, our killer. Bill McLaughlin is a really good actor, in my opinion. This guy is gigantic. He's huge. He's about the size of freaking Bill Goldberg. I mean, this guy is big. But he is just, in my opinion, a really good actor. He switches from psychotic to normal on the turn of a dime. And it is just so good and so fluid. And he does it so well. And I was really impressed with the acting he did on this film. A couple of the actors weren't great, but overall, this movie was pretty well acted. I like the gore and I like the brutality in this film. I like that it is practical special effects. And I like that it starts with the brutality practically right away. Really jumps right into it. We got situations where he's got multiple women down in his basement that he is kidnapped and that he is killing. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that they really let off with a good foot by putting the brutality first and then showing his change. And what happens is he basically gets a phone call. And just so you know, guys, there are going to be spoilers in this review. There's some things I want to talk about that I can't really talk about without spoiling it. So, when I talk about the change in his acting, plus we're also talking about the gore and the violence, the brutality, there is some very brutal scenes here. He is cutting a woman apart. He is disemboweling her. Her guts are falling to the floor. And then he gets a phone call. And he picks it up. Oh, hey, bud, how's it going? And just normal. Flat out normal. And it brought me to thinking, man, you never know what's going on. You could be talking to your best friend and you don't know what he's really doing. I mean, now I trust what my best friend's doing, but I'm just saying that you never know what people are really like. You never know what they're really truly doing, because no matter how close you get to people, they keep that to themselves. He was just talking about, oh, he's just doing some things around the house, not a problem, he'll meet him later, it'll be this, it'll be that, it'll be a great good time. And there was not even a hint of what was going on. And I just thought that was really good. I thought that was really well acted. And it also belayed how this movie could turn from brutal to normal very quickly. Not just Bill McLaughlin and the acting, but the film itself. The entire time you know that there's this brutality that is taking place. but there's also this normalcy going on. And that's very rare. Going back to Bill McLaughlin again, I really like the casting job they did with him. So that's kind of a pro. That's not something I mention a lot, but I really like that they picked him. He is a really good actor, in my opinion, who's also this big, huge, strong dude. So it was kind of cool seeing that on film. A lot of times with serial killers and slasher films, we have to explain why they were able to pull off these feats of strength that killers and characters who aren't normally very big people couldn't usually do. We use the terms of supernatural or retard strength or zombie strength, and no, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. But we have to often explain why certain killers can do certain things, especially when they don't have that physical presence. This is a movie that is grounded in reality, where our killer just happens to be big enough to pull off all of the things he needs to do. And I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a really cool job and a really cool idea to cast him in this role. So here's where some of the spoilers come in, guys. I really like the story in this movie. I gave you the synopsis, but a little more in depth. The story is that John Beast, he is your normal everyday guy. He's a real big dude, but he's your normal everyday guy, next door neighbor kind of guy. Really nice. Seems like he has a really decent person, has a decent heart. He has upstanding morals. Well, he also hears voices, and these voices kind of give him a God complex. And I wrote down another pro before I figured out what was going on in the movie, so I'll get to that here in a minute. But as I said, these voices give him kind of a God complex. They're telling him things like, you are to be a deity, you need to purge yourself and purge the world around you of all of this corruption, all this evil, and all these evil women, and all this lust and desire. And so that is why he is killing people. That is why he is doing what he is doing. It's not because he is so much enjoying it, but the fact that he truly believes, because of these voices in his head, that he has a mission. He has a mission basically from God, or that he is to become a god. And I really enjoy that aspect of the story. I think it's really well done, and I think it's really well written, and I think it's well executed. A lot of people say that this movie, a lot of the other reviews and the critics that I've read on this movie and the things while I was researching for this film, said that it reminds them of Maniac. I don't know if I really got that. It didn't really remind me of Maniac. It almost reminded me of Charles Manson, if you know what I mean. Charlie Manson thought that he was a god in a way, and he thought he was on a mission. Even though he was nuts and he was absolutely wrong and completely bonkers, he still thought he was on some sort of weird fucking mission. One of my pros that I wrote down before we got to the end of the film is the voice acting of his God complex, the voice acting of the voice in his head. I thought it was really well done. It was definitely an Italian voice, and it kind of reminded me, and what it made me think of and what it made me picture was, it reminded me of like the voice in his head being a religious persona, like an Italian pope or something, if you know what I mean. That's the impression I got, that what he was feeling, because as I said, he had this God complex, and he also thought he was basically on a mission from God. And when the voices were talking to him and giving him these messages, the messages it were giving sounded like something like the Pope would be saying, just evil, if you know what I mean. And so I really enjoyed that, and I thought that the voice actor was doing a really good job. And then we got our twist ending. He is down in his basement with his chosen one. And we don't know what he means by the chosen one. He meets this girl, and you think that he likes her. And when he talks about her being the one, you think he means that he actually found a woman that he didn't despise. He found a woman that he could maybe have a relationship with. That's what's kind of going through your mind. That's kind of what you're thinking is happening. But that's not the case. He has his own reason for calling her the one. And not only is she the one, she is the chosen one. The cops are finally figured everything out. They're down in his house. They confront him. He has a axe to the girl's throat, and he is hearing the voices in his head saying, "It is time for your final sacrifice. It is time for you to ascend to deityism. It is time for you to become a god." And to do that, he had to sacrifice himself. He pushes the girl out of the way because he promised her he wouldn't hurt her. And he lunges at the cops with the axe. And bam, 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 bam. They fill him full of holes. And he dies. The next frame, our final girl, she is going to bed. And then all of a sudden, he's right back there and he's choking her out. And then bam, she wakes up. And she tells her roommate, "Man, it's been a month. I'm still seeing him. I'm still dreaming about him. We need to get out of this apartment. It's got too many memories." As her roommate's going to work, somebody knocks on the door. And the person knocking is claiming to be a reporter. And she's like, "Yeah, go ahead and send her on up. I'll talk to her. That's cool. Send her up." So she's like, "Okay." And she goes off to work, and she sends the reporter up to visit with our final girl. And as she's talking and asking her questions, all of a sudden she grabs her by the throat and slams her down. And this is a larger woman. I don't mean fat, but she's tall. And she's bigger and stronger than this girl is. And she tells her, "We know you know all about it because you're the chosen one." And right then and there, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on, the chosen one. What's going on? Did he tell somebody about all of his delusions? Is he, what's going on here? She knocks the girl out, drugs or whatever, and the girl wakes up, and she's surrounded by a group of people wearing monk habits. And if you don't know what monk habit is, it's basically the robes, the hood, that kind of thing. That's what a habit is. Come to find out that our Turnpike killer, John Beast, was not hearing voices. The quote-unquote voices in his head were the teachings and the instructions of his actual blood father, who is the leader of this cult and has trained him from childhood to be this killer, to be this quote-unquote deity that will sit in judgment upon all the wickedness of the world. And it even shows where he, as a little boy, is forced to kill a woman. They have her on the ground. They're like, "Oh, we're not going to hurt you. You're the chosen one." Now, because John is dead, it is now up to his father to fulfill the prophecy of the chosen one. And we find out that what it is she is going to be the vessel. She is going to be the surrogate mother, I guess you could call it, for their quote-unquote savior. That will be John, I guess, resurrected. And he takes off his monk habit. He's naked underneath, even though it doesn't really show anything. And he starts to climb on top of her, and that's where the movie ends. So, it come to find out, he wasn't hearing voices at all. He was actually hearing his biological father. He was hearing his instructions, and for all we know, there were times where his father was probably there when you thought he was hearing voices. His father could have been right behind him talking, for all we know. We just didn't see it. All in all, I felt this was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a dark movie. It's a somber movie, but it's also a really entertaining movie. Bill McLaughlin, I wonder if he actually is from Jersey, because his accent was very Jersey thick, if you know what I mean. He sounded like he just came off The Sopranos. And I just want to end the video with this. First off, thank you very much to Rob and the staff at Wild Eye. I got, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I got 4 more videos after today, guys. Bill will be joining me for tomorrow's video, where we will be reviewing Gorgasm. Yes, Jason, that review is finally coming. In this movie, John, our killer, is asking somebody, what, so you think you're better than me? And I don't know if any of you watch How I Met Your Mother, but the drunk train episode where they're going back and forth from Jersey trying to pick up girls because they're drunk. All of the girls in that train are looking at them going, what, you think you're better than me? In that really thick Jersey voice. And it just struck me as so funny that he was saying the same thing in this movie. And it made me wonder, man, is that a Jersey thing? I mean, I thought it was just for that one show, but now I'm seeing it in this movie too about another Jersey person. What is up with that? And so that is where I'm going to leave you guys. This was a good movie. Check it out. The Turnpike Killer. And one interesting fact that I heard about this is that our directors are also the writers of the film. And they got the story from a creepy guy that they knew. And I guess they based the whole story on either his story or on him. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyways, guys, this is BroncoJuggalo saying I hope you're enjoying Wild Eye Week. And I will see you tomorrow for day 4. Peace.